This is going to be a personal journey, my journey with Sennheiser headphones. And the first one was an HD 414. This one isn't my first one, literally. My first one, I have no idea where that one went because I bought that in the early 70s. This one I got a couple of years ago on eBay for I think $80 from the original owner. So this is an original HD 414. He actually sent me the bill of sale. He sent me the original owner's manual. It's very cool. And when I got it, I wrote about it on CNET, and I will link to that below because I was mostly curious how this ancient headphone would fare compared to contemporary headphones. So now the thing that was remarkable about this headphone in the first place, I think it actually came out in Europe in the late 60s but didn't make it here until the 70s, was that it was the first open back headphone. Now, nowadays open back headphones are common, but this one here, looking more or less exactly like this, but I think with blue ear pads instead of the yellow ones, was the first open one. And everybody who heard it just freaked out because where all other headphones at that time were literally cans. You had these echo chambers on your skull, and the sound was bouncing around inside the ear cups. And this one was like, whoa, it's open. It's not stuck inside my head. It's airy. It's open. It was incredible. So I bought this one a few years ago, this specific one, and I put it on my head, and I wasn't really sure how it would translate. And you know what? No, it does not sound like a contemporary headphone. It's kind of dull. Bass is kind of wimpy, but it does have a beautiful mid-range. The mid-range is still very, very enjoyable. It's still a very enjoyable headphone, but compared to, and I compared it to the Sennheiser Momentum, no, the Momentum sounds way crisper and livelier, and just, it sounds like a modern headphone. This one doesn't, but as antiques go, it's pretty darn good. And it's super lightweight. It weighs like 5 ounces, which is lighter than most new headphones, so it is really comfortable. So that's where it all started for me with Sennheiser, is the HD414 sometime in the early 70s. And I didn't buy another Sennheiser headphone till I got this one here. So this one is the HD580, which I got in the mid-90s, 96, 97. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't crazy about this headphone. I got it because I guess I read a review somewhere and I was intrigued by it. And I liked it, but it didn't get played a lot because I just found it kind of blah. By the way, it's not an original cable on there. It's a Cardis cable. But anyway, I was kind of bored by this headphone. But then a while back, easily 10 years ago, I was reviewing the Bottlehead Crack headphone amplifier, which likes high impedance headphones, and this one is one. It's a 150 ohm headphone. So I thought, I should dig out that 580 and try it on the Bottlehead. And that was a revelation. It was so stunning. It was gorgeous. It was open, and it just disappeared. It was a very low fatigue sound. I remember watching a lot of movies with that combination, the Bottlehead and this 580, and loved it. Loved it. And I remember I'm watching a scene in a movie, and it's a scene with in somebody's house, and it's a hot day, and they don't have air conditioning, and there's a screen door that's in the background of the scene, and you hear this buzzing sound, and then the camera eventually gets over there and you see this fly that's buzzing around on the screen, and I could hear that so realistically off in the distance as I'm watching this movie with the headphones. It was just kind of, I'm thinking about it, gets me excited to think about how perfectly this headphone did that. It was super impressive. And then as I've listened to it more recently, I reviewed the Mass Drop Jubilee HD 58X, and I compared it to this, and this is still it's still good. The Mass Drop version and this one, I've come around to it that Sennheiser was right in the first place and I was wrong, and This is a keeper. I've had it all these years. I'll probably never part with it. So the reason I'm working on this right now is because I just did a review of the new Mass Drop, or not so new, not new at all actually. This Mass Drop. This is the Mass Drop HD 6XX, which is their version of the HD 650. Now, I never owned an HD 600 or a 650. I've certainly heard them a billion times, but I've never owned one. And so I'm listening to this headphone and thinking, it's very warm sounding. It's a very warm, very sweet sounding headphone, very low fatigue, really comfortable, just as the 580 is. This headphone is super comfy, and bass is a bit too warm for me. The top is a little too soft. I mean, so the Hi-Fi Man, you can buy a Hi-Fi Man planar magnetic HD 400S on Amazon right now for $229, I think. And this one on Mass Drop is $200. So they're pretty much virtually the same price. And if you're into detail and resolution and clarity, get the Hi-Fi Man. But this one, it is kind of a beguiling sound. It really is. You know, the real 650, the Sennheiser HD 650, came out in 2003. That's a long time ago. They still make it. The Sennheiser version is $500, although you can find it on sale easily for closer to $300. At $229, it's a freaking bargain. At $229, it's $200. I'm sorry, it's $200 for the Mass Drop HD 6XX, and you know, because and I just compared it to the to the 580. They're more alike than different. They're not gigantically different, but this one is definitely warmer. The 580 is leaner sounding overall. The Mass Drop HD 6XX, or whatever it is, XX, is a sweeter sounding headphone. But the last stop, I'm doing them in order, the numerical order, is this one here. This is my Sennheiser HD 700. Now the 700 is a weird headphone in that it came after the HD 800, which is a headphone that honestly, it was never me. It was never, ever me, because it was just too analytical, to be blunt, too bright. I mean, you could match it with a sweet sounding amp, a tube amp or something, and make the HD 800 sound good. The HD 800S was a little less bright, so apparently people at Sennheiser agreed with me that the original was a bit too much in the analytical side. So they made the HD 800S. But after the HD 800 and before the HD 800S came this one, the HD 700. And when I heard this, I said, yeah, this is better. Very few audiophiles and the people on HeadFi, etc., didn't agree with me, but this was much closer to the sound of a 650, but more open sounding and spacious, approaching the openness and spaciousness of the HD 800. So for me at least, this is definitely a keeper. I've had this one a good time. I don't know when I got this. Probably close to 10 years ago. And it's never going away. Well, what was I going to say? So, yeah, it's funny how. I remember I was going to say that Sennheiser kept saying that they were going to discontinue the HD 700, and then it just kept going along. But now they assure me that it's pretty much dead, or maybe even completely gone by the time I post this video. But I'm sure used ones aren't hard to find, and I think we're good. So that's my personal journey with Sennheiser headphones. And hey, I mean, the HD 580, the HD 600, the HD 650 are classics. If you want to start in high-end audiophile headphone world, any of those will do very, very proudly. If you're not into the high-res, super detailed clarity thing. If you want clarity, then these Sennheisers aren't probably your cup of tea, unless you go for the HD800 or HD800S. But those are a lot more money than this baby. This was, remember, it's $220. So, I think we've done it. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. And please subscribe if you like this sort of thing. Please share, like, do all that social media stuff. If you really like it, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/audiophiliac. And I will thank you in advance for doing that. See you soon. Bye-bye.